Good evening, everyone. My name is Shena Aira M. Unlayaw, the first reporter in our group, which is Group 9, and the topics that I'm going to discuss are all about operational level scorecard and tactical level scorecard. Operational level scorecard. At this level of scorecard, mayroon itong plan and goals that need to be achieved, measured, and monitored for the next year. Also, operational level uses strategy plans to easily accomplish the overall objectives. Also, operational scorecard tracks the things that you must do this year to achieve strategy goals. Figure 12.4 shows an example of an operational level internal business process scorecard. Increased product quality is 75% for 3 years strategic goal and 40% for annual operational goal. Ito ay ang pagtaas ng kalidad ng isang produkto. Reduced cost of processes is 25% for 3 years strategic goal and 10% for annual operational goal. Reduced process cycle times 15% for 3 years strategic goal and 8% for annual operational goal. Also, reduced processes lead time is 25% for 3 years strategic goal and 10% for annual operational goal. Tactical level scorecard is day-to-day measurement and tracking scorecard. It is used on at least a daily basis and perhaps even hour by hour and minute by minute. Everyone in organization need to be familiar with this scorecard and check it at least once a day to see how they are doing. This is a key management tool used for gathering data and information and making sound business decisions by the right people in the right place. The manager makes sure tactical level scorecards are being used effectively and that they always contain the most current data and information available. In business, managers determine what the various parts of the organization must do for the organization to be successful in the near future. In tactical level, we have 4 panel chart, and we use this for review with senior management. Also, this is a great way to summarize what we're doing and where we were at in achieving our goals and objectives. This chart can help day-to-day manage business at the strategic level and operational level. It can only be done at the tactical level. To see what is 4-panel chart, this is an example of 4-panel chart. And this is the example of tactical level scorecard. And that would be all. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, I am Heidi Marie L. Lumudang. I am Group 9. My report is making process decision that give competitive advantage. When making your decision and using the balance scorecard, you have to involve your people in the process. So by making a decision and managing business, your process, and it's all about you should give a competitive advantage whatever marketplace it in your business does it things. So next is involving the right people in the process decision. So we have your frontline workers and their supervisor. Your worker will need to have a good data and information. Why not involve them in actually gathering that data and information? Let them own it. They need to track their process performance and know how they are doing, don't they? They will need to see and use the balance scorecard at the tactical level, see how they tie to the operational and strategic level scorecard. And they will have to be taught some simple tools that enable them to look at their work and also be employed by you to make the decision necessary to hit the target at their set of your balance scorecard. So if you're going to effective using the balance scorecard for your internal business process, you are going to need to push decision making to the right levels and people their supervisor. So in Six Sigma for Dummies is an excellent resource for your team-based data gathering and decision-making tools and methods. Give your people the time they need to get this done. You have to give your people the time to do this critical part of their job. If you don't, you will have huge problems down to the road in using staying on top of your balanced scorecard for your internal business process. So, one thing you are going to do is to give your people the time to their job to become successful. That's all. Thank you.
Staying ahead of the competition, tools that help. Here are some tools to help you stay ahead of the competition. First is the quality function deployment. It is basically a planning process with a quality approach to new product design, development, and implementation driven by customer needs and values by taking what the customer says they want and then translating that into measurable things that you do so you know you're hitting the mark. The voice of the customer is the term to describe these stated and unstated customer needs or requirements. The voice of the customer is captured in a variety of ways: direct discussion or interviews, surveys, focus groups, customer specifications, observation, warranty data, field reports, and many more. It is also a comprehensive quality system that systematically links the needs of the customer with various business functions and organizational processes such as marketing, design, quality, production, manufacturing, sales, and etc., aligning the entire company toward achieving a common goal. Second is Design for Six Sigma. Design for Six Sigma or DFSS is a different approach to new product or process development. It utilizes DMAIC or Define, Measure, Analyze, Improve, and Control. In other words, Design for Six Sigma is used primarily for the complete redesign of a product or process. Third is TREES, a Russian acronym for inventive problem solving that is an established science, methodology, and tool set for stimulating and generating ideas and solutions for problem solving based upon knowledge gained from prior inventions and innovations. It identifies and codifies these principles and uses them to make the creative process more predictable. In other words, whatever problem you're facing, somebody somewhere has already solved it. Fourth is maturity models. Maturity models are structured as a series of levels of effectiveness. These are the tools and methods that present best practices and steps for what to do based upon where you find yourself. It helps people assess the current effectiveness of a person or group and supports figuring out what capabilities they need to acquire next in order to improve their performance. The fifth one is the Six Sigma. It is a comprehensive set of tools and methods for achieving continual improvement in systems and processes and improvements to the bottom line financial results. What are actually the Six Sigma? The Six Sigma are commonly known as DMAIC steps. These are defined: why do we want to do this project? Measure: where are we today? Analyze: where should we be? Improve: trying to find the best one that fits for the financials, for the organization, for the goal we're trying to achieve. And control: what do we need to do? Six Sigma strategies seek to improve operations quality by identifying and removing the causes of defects and minimizing variability in operations and business processes. It does this by using empirical and statistical quality management methods and by hiring people who serve as Six Sigma experts. Each Sigma project follows a defined methodology and has specific value targets, such as reducing pollution or increasing customer satisfaction. Six is the value stream mapping. It is also called value stream analysis, lean process mapping. Value stream mapping or VSM is defined as a lean tool that employs a flowchart documenting every step in the process. Many lean practitioners see VSM as a fundamental tool to identify waste, reduce process cycle times, and implement process improvement. VSM is a workplace efficiency tool designed to combine material processing steps with information flow along with other important related data. VSM is an essential lean tool for an organization wanting to plan, implement, and improve while on its lean journey. Seventh is lean manufacturing. Lean manufacturing is a production process based on an ideology of maximizing productivity while simultaneously minimizing or eliminating the 7 deadly wastes within a manufacturing operation. And these are the 7 deadly wastes: the transportation, inventory, motion, waiting, overproduction, overprocessing, and defects. And the last is the theory of constraints. The theory of constraints is a methodology for identifying the most important limiting factor that stands in the way of achieving a goal and then systematically improving that constraint until it is no longer the limiting factor. In manufacturing, the constraint is often referred to as a bottleneck. Let us now proceed to common mistakes made with internal business process scorecards. Losing focus and trying to track things that really don't matter. Obviously, if you try to spend some of your time to the things that doesn't even matter, that time you invested in will just going to waste. Trying to do it all by yourself, not involving or empowering the right people at the right levels to gather data and make decisions about their processes. Your team is there for a reason. Always remember that people is a resource. Not giving people the time they need to gather and analyze data. Rushing things is bad, but rushing people to rush things is worse. Gathering and analyzing data is important and must be given enough time for better results. Not sharing or communicating information with process workers. Communication is the key to success. Without proper communication with the process workers, it will lead to unwanted result of the business. Declaring victory too early. Ah yes, you think you win but you don't. Not having the discipline to stick with your scorecard, regardless of what it says. Not having systems and structures in place to support your balanced scorecards and dashboards in terms of response, review, and decision support. Resolving variation of steps without first deciding what steps can be removed or modified. Not working on the important issues. Like mentioned before, if you focus on things that doesn't matter, the result also doesn't matter. Cherry-picking the easy things to tackle and avoiding the tough issues because they are hard to solve. Having systems or processes that are untouchable. Having preconceived solutions to problems or pet solutions driven by powerful managers. And lastly, looking at systems and processes in silos.